morning, all. It is beautiful fall morning. You'll never guess who I got with me. Yeah, you guessed it. We got Mr. Jeff, and he's already trying to beat me to the gold. Now we're down here with, I think there's 9 of us total. We got Todd, Damon, and I think Damon's brother, and the rest of the group, they went downstream. Jeff and I, we're kind of hanging here because we want to cross the creek as soon as it warms up a bit, and they can go on down there. This is where the gold is. So let me show you why I want to cross the creek. Okay, upstream, we're coming around a corner. This whole side over here is on a corner. Now you can see here we got some rocks right here, and they come across, and these rocks are all kind of in a line. And on the other side of those rocks, you can see we have gravel. Those rocks mark where the fast water ends. So basically what I want to do is follow this fast water up there where it hits the bedrock. If you get out in front of that or on the side that we're on, those rocks are telling me where I'm standing is getting hit hard by the floodwaters. Now you can find gold here. Matter of fact, in a minute we're going to go down and work a crevice. But your odds, I think, are better over there to find more gold. Maybe not as big, but more overall. Okay, now I get a little, since we're killing time waiting for the sun to warm up a little bit before we get in the water and cross, I got a crevice down here that I've been digging on. And we got a little crevice right here. We are right down on the water level, right here. And you can tell by how smooth this bedrock is. During high water, this is getting hit really hard. This crevice is pretty deep. So there's a chance you can have a piece of gold fall down in here. So I thought, well, while we're waiting, we'll dig this out. Just see if we can find a little bit of gold. Now I've got it pretty much dug out, and that's what I got out of there. So I'll pan this out, see if we got any gold. That looks like we got us a claim jumper. Well, got that panned out, and we got a respectable piece here, but you can see we got gold all through that. So we're off to a good start. Okay, well, now we got a little bit of gold. Pressure's off, got rid of the skunk. So I'm gonna break the detector out, see if we can find a piece we can actually pick up. Been detecting for a little bit, found a spot, crevice over here, show you in a second. And I got 2 targets. One of them was pretty loud. It turned out to be a piece of iron. The second one is a lot lighter, sounds pretty good to me. So let me throw the mic in the headphones so you can hear what I'm hearing. Okay, well, let's dig her out. He's helping. And see what we got. Rocks are packed in here pretty good. I'm not sure exactly where the target is, but since we know there's a lot of fine gold, we're just going to dig it all out and pan it. Well, got that material dug out, and we got a real light target in the pan. Sounds good. I'm gonna pan this out. I'll be right back. Okay, with the sun out, it's really hard for me to see, but you can see right here, got a nice little picker. Then we got a pretty good stream of gold up there, and right there, first piece of lead. Well, I'm going to grab the jar, clean this up, and I think I'm going to finish that crevice since we got a lot of fine gold in there. Hopefully there's a little more in there. Okay, I got the rest of that crevice all cleaned out best I could. Let's pan this out, see if there's any gold in this one. And we got a couple of decent pieces and quite a bit of fine stuff. Let me show you. Okay, hopefully you can see we got a couple nice pieces, and then there's a whole bunch of really fine stuff in there. Okay, well, I'm gonna do a little more detecting, and I'm getting real close to crossing the creek, but I want to hit this area a little bit better. If I come up with anything, I'll turn the camera on. If not, I'll see you on the other side. By a strange man in a black suit, Mr. Damon. Well, we made it across the creek, did a little more panning over there, found a few really small pieces, but everything over there is pretty fine. So we moved over here. I really like the looks of the gravel here. Let me show you. Now in the upper end of this little bar, you can see we have a lot heavier, larger boulders. Right up to the biggest stuff is right up against the bedrock where Jeff is. The problem we're facing is the bedrock's coming down pretty good. So we don't know if we're going to find any catches on the bedrock. Now back in this direction, we're now at the tail end of the gravel bar, and I'm standing on bedrock. But you can look and see that the rocks are quite a bit smaller, they look lighter, and the larger rocks are flat, which they move pretty easy. This end, we can work the bedrock. I'm pretty sure there's gold here, but I think it's going to be finer gold than we have up there. Now there is a section right in the middle where the bedrock is coming out a little bit, and that area looks pretty good to me. Let me show you. Now the reason I like this spot, number one, it's in the shade, but we still have some larger rocks. The smaller rocks, like my knee's on, all these are really dense, heavy rocks. We have bedrock that's sticking out into the flow further than anything behind us here. So this is projecting into our flow. Hopefully we can find some catches in the bedrock. The gravel in here, everything is packed pretty darn good. I can't move anything. So I'm going to dig out right in here. I'm going to run down, grab the detector. We only brought over one detector since just headphones aren't working. We figured we got one set of headphones, so we might as well only bring over one detector. So I'm going to grab it and give a quick go over this. And what I'm looking for is not so much for targets, it's for anything heavy, big iron objects, where that stuff is dropping. There we go. Got a target there. Sounds like we got another real light one right there. I need to get headphones. Okay, well, we got two targets right up against the bedrock. So we'll dig those out real quick. Okay, well, I got our first pan, and I did see a piece of gold, a tiny piece of gold. When I was digging that out, I lost it. I couldn't find it again. So hopefully it's in the pan. I'll be right back. Got that panned out. This is a pretty nice pan. Let me show you. You can see here we got some pretty nice chunkers in there. They're all flat, but pretty good size. And there's quite a bit of fine gold in there with it. It's the attack of the snipers. Damon showed up, and now he attracted 3 more. Hopefully they're finding some gold. We did a comparison. The black sand up where Jeff was just a little too light. I think he's too high up. Where I found that gold here, the sand is quite a bit coarser. So Jeff's moved down. He's helped me work this spot. We rolled some boulders. We got 3 targets in here that he's working on. And then I went downstream a little bit and metal detected some of that exposed bedrock. And I have one kind of a mediocre sounding target, and I have another one that sounds pretty good. So while he's digging here, I'm gonna run down there, grab the pan and the crevice tool, and see what I got in those two targets. Okay, well, I came down to find these two targets. Found the one that was a little tiny piece of iron. That's the one I thought was good. I got one here that I didn't know if it was mineralization or if it was a target, but it was just too isolated. And I've been digging on this thing for 20 minutes and I can't find it. So I just brought in the big guns. Just gonna help me on this one, see if we can get the thing busted open and find it.
Well, I found gold. You have your safety glasses on?
Yeah, I got my squint goggles. Oh, I just seen gold.
I can see it from here, right there.
Where'd it go? Right there. We got a piece of gold. Nice piece of gold. Okay, here's the one I just found. This is the one Jeff found. And then there's a few more fine stuff up here that got with the big piece. Okay, well, we're gonna roll some boulders, do some detecting, see what we can come up with. Well, Jeff moved the big boulder. We dug some gravel out of there, and then I checked it with a metal detector, and I got a really, really light reading. So he was scooping the gravel out, and we both spotted a little piece of gold. And I can't believe the detector picked it up, but I checked it afterwards and it's loud and clear. Let me show you. Now it's not huge, but it is a round little chunky piece. This right behind me, this is an old boil hole that the front half is broke away. And my theory is if this was a boil hole, that means the river was up here making this boil hole. So I'm going to grab the detector, jump up here a little bit, just for the fun of it, detect some of that up there. You never know. I'll be back. I tell you what, I think I might be getting old because that was a bugger getting up there and staying up there. I ended up with 4 targets, and one of them we know was a little piece of iron. 2 of them we never seen. And one of them was a little piece of gold. Let me show you. And right there you can see nothing to write home about, but we'll take it. And I just noticed my battery is flashing. It's gonna die. It's a good hour, 2 hours later. Jeff and I went upstream over a real steep cliff, and I couldn't take the camera. We just took the metal detector, our pans and crevice tools, and we did pretty good up there. I found, I think 3 nice pieces and a bunch of finds. But everybody's on the other side. They're ready to hike out of here, so we got to gather up our stuff real quick, head up to the Jeep. So I'll either show you the gold up the Jeep or back at the house. Back at the house, and you guessed it, it's the next day. By the time we got up to the Jeep, Jeff and I were both dead. Now you gotta remember, I've been sitting on my butt for the last 6 weeks fishing, so that was my first hike. So that and I'm old, that's my excuse. Now I did get that gold all cleaned up, and I tell you what, that was quite a job because as usual, everything that went through the 50 mesh goes into the end of the ear stuff, but I was surprised at the amount of gold that went through the 50 mesh. Now, it's weight-wise, it's, you know, not enough to worry about because they're really tiny pieces. But I mean, there was a lot of them. So it's going to be interesting when we clean that up. But everything else I got cleaned up, sitting over here on the table. So what do you say we jump over there and see how we did. Okay, first thing we'll weigh is our largest piece. Oh, it's nice, almost 1.5 grams. Okay, here's the chunky stuff, come out to 3.13, and then all our fines ended up with 5.08 grams. 5 grams, I'm okay with that. Now, I haven't got a total from Jeff. I'm guessing he got around 1 gram to 2 grams, somewhere in there would be my guess. I'm sure he'll put out a video on that too. The one thing I wanted to talk about real quick was, I always say that, you know, the river will tell you where the gold is. And that area we're working was a real good example of, you could line up those heavy boulders and you could see there was a definite line between the fast water and the slower water where it's going to be dropping the gold out. So when you head in, don't just start digging away. Stand up on the hill, get up on a rock and look at the river and start figuring out where the gold might be, and then pay attention to how you do. And I guarantee you, if you do that every time, you're gonna start finding more gold. Much as I'd like to go back to the river, now this time of year, your flow is at its lowest at the river. So you can get closest to the gut this time of year, which really makes me want to head back to the river. But the other side of the coin is, they're talking a wet early winter, and the hydraulic pits are up 5,000–6,000 feet. So we're going to get run out of there pretty quick. So I'm thinking I might plan a trip or two up to the hydraulic pits and see if I can sneak in a sniping trip in between them. So that's the plan. We'll see how it works out. But all I know right now is I gotta get my stuff all ready, because I got such a mess from getting back from fishing. I gotta get everything back in order. So I'm out of here. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.